Your tendon might be the same age as your childhood. I'm not being poetic. Scientists in Denmark did something wild. They used carbon dating, the same technology that they use to figure out how old a fossil is, and they used it on human tendons. Here's what they found. The collagen inside your Achilles tendon was mostly built before you turned 17 years old. And after that, it barely gets replaced for the rest of your life. That is pretty wild because it is essentially the rope connecting your calf to your heel bone, the one that lets you walk, run, jump, play with your kids. It's running on material that your body laid down when you were a teenager, and your body is not making much more of it. So when people ask me, Ben, why won't my shoulder heal? Or why does my elbow still click? Or why do my feet hurt for months? This is the reason why. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand your body way more than what your doctor has ever told you. Plus, I'm going to give you the exact study that has an 82% success rate in human studies. Stick around for that, because most people are doing the exact opposite of what that study shows. Now, let's get right into this. First, let me explain what we're even talking about, because most people really don't have an idea here. You've got muscles, you've got bones. Tendons are the cables in between. When your muscle contracts, it doesn't move your bone directly. It yanks on a tendon, and the tendon pulls the bone. That's how every single movement you make happens. Every step, every rep, heck, every time you even reach for a cup of coffee. Now, here's the thing about these cables. They are strong, absurdly strong. Your Achilles tendon can handle a force of over 1,000 pascals when you're running, for example. Think about that. A structure the width of your finger taking half a ton of force thousands of times a day. And they're not just strong, they're also springy. When you jump and land, your tendons store energy like a rubber band, then fire it back to launch you up. It's one of the most efficient systems in your entire body. But here's the scary part. That incredible strength comes from the structure. Inside a healthy tendon, the collagen fibers are lined up perfectly. They're straight and they're parallel like a fresh package of uncooked spaghetti, all pointing in the same direction. That alignment is the whole reason they're strong. When your tendon gets injured, that neat structure falls apart. The fibers get scattered, essentially disorganized. They become tangled. Now imagine that same spaghetti cooked, thrown into a bowl, all knotted up in random directions. Now that tangled mess makes it weaker. And here's a problem. Your body is not so great at reorganizing it back to straight lines. It needs a specific signal to do that, a signal that most people never give it. And we'll come back to that in a minute. So why don't tendons heal like a cut on your skin? If you cut your finger, a week later, it's basically gone. You sprain your ankle ligament. I've done this before through basketball. It bruises and swells like a muscle. Then it heals. But the tendon injury, 6 months later, you could still be babying it. Here's the reason why. Blood healing needs blood flow. Blood carries oxygen. It carries nutrients. It carries the repair cells to repair the damaged tissues. You cut your skin, what happens? It bleeds, right? That's actually your repair crew showing up to the job site. Tendons, they barely have any blood supply. They're what scientists called hypovascular, meaning very few blood vessels are running through them. In your Achilles tendon, there's a section about 2 to 6 cm right above your heel bone. Researchers who dissected and imaged these tendons found that this midsection has the poorest blood flow of the entire tendon. And guess what? It's the single most common area for Achilles ruptures. I'm a huge NBA basketball fan, and I'm seeing this a lot in the NBA recently with Jason Tatum Halliburton as well from the Pacers. We saw this with Kobe Bryant back in the day. We're seeing it in the NFL as well with Aaron Rodgers and other players, but we're also seeing it in just regular human beings that are not professional athletes. It's really important for you to get what I just shared. The exact spot with the least blood flow is the exact spot that blows out the most. That is not a coincidence. It is showing you cause and effect. They even found what they call choke zones, dead patches where the blood barely connects. So when you injure the area, the repair crew simply can't get to the job site. The materials never arrive and the damage just sits there for months. This is why your tendon injury and your muscle injury are completely different animals, and why treating your tendon like a pulled muscle is one of the biggest mistakes you can make. Now, even rest alone won't fix it, and I'll prove that in a minute. Okay, this next study is the study I want you to text somebody with because it is absolutely mind-blowing. And it's a very interesting fact. It really flips everything you thought about training on its head. Look, we know exercise builds tendon. You load it, it gets stronger. Pretty simple, right? Well, not so fast. Researchers tracked what actually happens inside of a human tendon after a hard workout, and they found something bizarre. When you train, your body ramps up collagen production to rebuild the tendon stronger. That is the good part. But it also ramps up collagen breakdown at the same time, and that breakdown happens faster and peaks earlier than the building of it. So here's what that means. You are simply breaking down more collagen than you are rebuilding it, so your tendons could be temporarily weaker after a workout, not stronger. It's only around this 36-hour mark post-workout where you flip that into a net gain, where your body is building more than it's breaking down. Now connect the dots with me. What does the average person do? They hammer the same tendon every single day, or they feel a little pain, but they just train through it, then train again the next day. I saw this a lot when I used to own my CrossFit gym here in Miami. They never allow that tendon to heal and rebuild. So what happens is the damage is outpacing the healing, and it's happening every single day. They're stuck in a hole that they keep digging. Now, there was another carbon dating study on people with chronic tendon pain. The researchers found that in a damaged tendon, that abnormal breakdown has been quietly going on for up to 10 to 15 years before the person even felt a single symptom. That is wild. 10 to 15 years. That means your tendons can be falling apart for over a decade before it even hurts. By the time you feel it, this isn't a fresh injury. It's essentially the straw that broke the camel's back. It's been happening for many, many years. Now, let me hit you with something that might make you go check your medicine cabinet. There is a common class of antibiotics called fluoroquilinins. You might know them by names like Cipro and Levoquin. They're prescribed all the time for things like urinary tract infections, sinus infections, usually respiratory stuff. But here's what a lot of people are never told about these antibiotics. Studies show that people who take these antibiotics have a significantly higher risk of rupturing their Achilles tendon, especially in the months after they've taken them. Some studies have found that the risk has jumped up to being 7 times higher, and it doesn't always happen right away. In some cases, the damage has shown up weeks or even months after the last dose. So someone could take an antibiotic in the spring, blow out snorts their Achilles playing basketball or some sport in the summer, or even jumping up and down at a concert, and never in a million years connect the dots. So why does this happen? Well, these drugs interfere with collagen synthesis and mess with the enzymes that your tendons need to remodel itself properly. They're essentially chemically sabotaging the entire process that we've been talking about here. And if you're over the age of 60, the risk climbs dramatically. Also, if you're taking cortical steroids. Now, hear me clearly. I'm not telling you to stop taking any medication. None of this is medical advice ever. But you deserve to know that this connection exists so you could have an informed conversation with the doctor who has prescribed it, because most people are never warned about this. And a little awareness here could save your Achilles. This is why I always preach getting to the root cause. Your body is a connected system. What you put in it shows up everywhere, even in the cable behind your ankle. Okay, enough of the bad news. Let's get to the good news, the solutions. Look, tendons can heal. You just have to give them the right signal they've been begging for. And here's the twist that trips everybody up. The answer is not necessarily rest. I know everything in you wants you to rest a painful tendon. But remember what we learned. Tendons have terrible blood flow, and they need a specific signal to lay on those collagen fibers to break it down into straight parallel lines, and they're rebuilt. When you rest, you don't send that signal. Rest just lets the fibers heal in that tangled, weak spaghetti mess. The signal your tendon needs is load. A specific load. Enter a guy named Dr. Alfredson. The story here is amazing. He had bad Achilles pain, and back then the treatment was surgery, but his hospital had a long waiting list. So he thought, I'm going to just wreck my tendon completely with heavy exercise so I qualify for the surgery faster. So he started doing these brutal heel drop exercises every day, trying to make it worse. But you know what happened? It got better. Completely better. He accidentally cured himself. So then he studied it. In the research, the eenteric loading protocol produced satisfaction and recovery in 82% of patients with chronic Achilles pain, people who had been hurting for months to years. So what is this magic exercise? It's called the eenteric heel drop. Let me break it down for you. You're going to stand on a step. And you can buy these steps on Amazon, or you might have those little steps in the kitchen to help you reach for something in your pantry. It doesn't matter what you use. It just needs to be stable, about 12 to 18 in height. So what you're going to do is you're going to stand on the step on the balls of your feet. Heels are going to be hanging off the edge. You rise up onto your toes using your good leg, or you could use both. Then you shift all of your weight to the injured leg, and then you slowly lower that heel down below the step. It needs to be slow and controlled. The lowering part is everything. That slow lowering under the load is called an eenteric contraction. It's the muscle lengthening while it's working, and that specific motion is what tells your scattered collagen fibers, hey, line up back in this direction, straighten out, and get strong again. The original protocol was 180 reps a day, split into sets done for 12 weeks. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but here's the encouraging part. Newer research found that a lower volume, meaning do whatever you can tolerate version, worked just as well as the full 180 reps. So you don't have to be a hero and do all 180, you just have to be consistent. A little bit of discomfort during the exercise is okay and expected with the tendons. This isn't like a muscle where the pain means you should stop, but sharp worsening pain means, yeah, back off. And please, if you've got a full tear or severe pain, go to an actual professional on this and get a real diagnosis first. Now, here's where I got excited because we can stack the deck even further with nutrition. And this one's backed up by one very clever human study. Remember what I said? Tendons have almost no blood flow, so the trick is to flood your bloodstream with the raw materials right when a workout temporarily opens up that blood flow. Researchers had people take 15 gin of gelatin with about 50 milligrams of vitamin C about an hour before exercise. Their result, they doubled the markers of collagen synthesis in their blood compared to the placebo. Yes, doubled it. Now, the vitamin C matters because it's a required coactor. Your body literally cannot build collagen properly without the vitamin C. Gelatin gives you the amino acid building blocks. Glycine, proline, these are the bricks. Vitamin C is the crew that lays them. So the play is simple. About an hour before your tendon work, you get your collagen source and your vitamin C in. Then you do your loading exercise with the raw materials already peaking in your blood. You're delivering the bricks to the job site at the exact moment that the road is finally open. This is the kind of thing that I love talking about here on this YouTube channel. Small, simple, backed by real human research, and almost nobody is doing it because they haven't heard about this. So the obvious question becomes, what's the easiest way to actually do this every single day? Look, when it comes to collagen, not all collagen products are created equal. The one that I personally use and recommend to all my students is called Myoscience Collagen, and I recommend it because it's exactly what I'm looking for. It's made from 100% pasture-raised grass-fed cattle and provides type 1, 2, and 3 collagen fibers. These are the primary fibers that support the tendons, ligaments, joints, and the connective tissue, and even your skin. Just 1 scoop a day gives your body the unique collagen peptides it needs to support normal collagen turnover and renewal. And because it's hydrate collagen peptides, it makes this easy into my morning cup of coffee, your smoothie, or even just with plain water. Or sometimes I'll use unsweetened coconut milk or unsweetened macadamia nut milk. Now, what I also appreciate is what's not inside this collagen product. There are no fillers, no unnecessary junk, no dairy, no soy, no GMO, and it's third-party tested for quality, which is very important if you're taking a collagen product. This product is just clean collagen without any of the extras. For my community only here on YouTube, you get an exclusive 20% off your Myoscience Collagen. All you need to do is click the first link in the description box right below this video, or grab your phone, open up the camera app and scan the QR code on the screen. And because I know trying a new supplement can feel like a leap, they are offering you a 100% money-back guarantee. So there's really no risk in just giving it a try. Look, this costs less than a cup of coffee per day for something you only need once a day. To me, that's one of the most simplest investments you can make in supporting healthy joints, tendons, and connective tissues as you get older. And I'm clearly not the only one who loves it. I looked at their reviews, and they have well over 100 5-star reviews from people who say they've now made it a part of their daily routine. Let me quickly show you what I do. So when you go to that link down below, if you've scanned the QR code, you're going to see this page right here, Myoscience Collagen. You can see the reviews, one-time purchase, subscribe, and save. In this scenario, I'm going to do one-time purchase. I'm going to add this to my cart. The coupon code for 20% off is automatically applied. One tub gives you about a month's supply by just using 1 scoop a day. Now, before you check out, there's one more thing I strongly recommend you adding to your order, and that's going to be creatine. So right down below, you're going to see goes perfectly with micronized Creavitalis creatine. It is my favorite creatine, hands down. I'm going to add this to my order, and the coupon code is also applied to this as well. The reason why I recommend this and I use both of these together is because collagen gives your body the building blocks to support your tendons, your ligaments, your connective tissue, but creatine supports the muscles pulling on those tendons. And as we get older, maintaining muscle is one of the most important things we can do for healthy aging. Creatine is one of the most studied supplements in the entire world. It's been shown to help with muscle strength, power, recovery, healthy aging, and newer research even shows it could support brain function as we get older. Look, think about it this way. Collagen helps to support the cables. Creatine helps to support the engines pulling on the cables. They work beautifully together. Every morning, I mix 1 scoop of collagen and 1 scoop of creatine into either water, coffee that has been cooled down a little bit, or if I choose to have a protein shake, I'll put it in there as well. And all of this takes less than a minute. It's one of the easiest daily habits that I've implemented for supporting my health, my mobility, and just overall healthy aging. So if you're ready to give your body the same building blocks we've discussed in this video, click the first link in the description box below or scan the QR code on the screen. Claim your 20% off while it's available. And let's get back to today's video. Let's bring this all home for you. Your tendons are running on collagen that was built when you were a teenager. They barely get blood. They can quietly break down for over a decade without you feeling a thing. And when you do feel it, most people rest it, and it makes it even worse. But now you know the way out. Load it. Don't baby it. Go slow on the lowering. Feed it to raw materials with collagen, vitamin C before you train. And be patient, because biology heals on its own timeline, not on your vacation schedule. If you do that consistently, that clicking shoulder, the cranky elbow, the heel that's been nagging you for months, it can actually turn around. You can really move like you're 30 again. I've watched this happen in my own body time after time. You combine what you learnt today with an anti-inflammatory diet and fasting protocol, you are going to feel in your prime again. Speaking of which, I have a brand new book called Ketolex Revised, which shows you exactly what to eat to lower inflammation, to lower insulin, to burn belly fat, and to feel like a rock star again. This book has my 4-pillar framework that I've taken 1,000 plus students through. As a matter of fact, my community has reported over £1 million of fat loss with this exact protocol. And you can get the full 45-day plan in this book along with thousands of dollars in free bonuses when you go to ketolexbook.com or click the second link in the description box below or scan the QR code on the screen to get the free bonuses. The book is available on paperback, Kindle, and also Audible and Spotify. I narrated the entire audiobook myself. Any format get you those bonuses. Head over to ketolexbook.com to get this 45-day plan, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Share this episode with somebody you know that can make a huge difference in their life, and stay tuned because we have a lot of new content coming out on really important topics. Speaking of which, we've heard that walking helps with fat loss. We heard about 10,000 steps a day. While I'm a huge fan of walking, there's something that works even better than the 1,000 steps, and it takes 10 minutes to do more fat loss, better energy, less cravings. Doing this every single day. I just released a video all about this. Here's a clip from that video. Then click the video on the screen coming up in a few seconds, and I'll see you in that next video. More movement equals more fat loss. Music. Burn more calories than you eat, and the weight comes off. It's simple math, right? Except your body is not a calculator. It's a beautiful chemistry lab. Music. And that chemistry is being run by your hormones, not by your step counter. So many people look at weight loss like this.